Hey guys, good morning. So we're here today with Daniel from Blue Sky Development. Daniel and I met about a year ago. Daniel is one of my favorite up and coming builders, reminds me a lot about myself when I was his age. Daniel, how long you been doing this now?
About 10 years now.
10 years, all right. So I've been doing this 26 years. I was talking to Daniel and he started asking a lot of questions, and I felt that, it's our duty as older, more seasoned builders to, share some of our trials and tribulations throughout our experience of construction, because that's the only way you learn. When I started, we didn't have YouTube and Instagram, and I learned a lot in the past 10 years, which I'm sure Daniel and I have shared this experience about our YouTube rabbit holes with Matt Reisinger and guys like that. But there's nothing like a personal one-on-one educational experience, walking through a job site, asking questions to help the younger guys not make the same mistakes us older guys have made. So we're gonna walk through, Daniel's gonna ask some questions, and we're gonna show him some of the latest techniques that we're doing on our job site, and see if Daniel has any questions, and maybe do a little bit of a mini series here as we go along.
Let's do it.
All right.
Okay, John, what's going on with this facade here? I see plywood, I see something over the plywood, I see something red at the bottom. So what's going on here exactly?
So what we did here was a little bit different of a method. This is a monolithic liquid house wrap. What they do first is they on the plywood seams, they caulk them with a special caulking from the manufacturer that makes the waterproofing system. This is called Sinner Shield by Synergex. And then we have some liquid waterproofing with fleece on the joint where the foundation meets the plywood. And then, as you can see, all the windows are liquid waterproofed in, caulked in. And then we'll come back and we'll do water tests on each and every unit, starting from the bottom and working our way up. So one man will be outside with a hose. I'll actually splice a little bit of a clip in here so you guys can see how we do it. And then we'll start testing every area. And then if we find any leaks on the inside, like you can see where those arrows are above that second window from the left, that's a spot where we found water coming in. So now we'll come back and go through all of that.
So this liquid is literally getting applied right onto the plywood itself.
It's getting applied right onto the plywood. Look, I love zip sheathing. It's great with the tape. It's just another way of doing it. We're doing liquid waterproofing on our flat roof, so we tie everything in. It's just like one big monolithic rubber shell, basically.
And what's your actual exterior facade here? What are you using?
So on top of this, believe it or not, where we're doing natural stone, we're going to be using, you can actually see it right here. Talking about zip system. This is the new rainscreen system from Zip themselves that gets stapled on, and then the seams get taped. So it's just another layer of protection. And then going back over here, we're putting on this porcelain facade, which is all going to get cut into a pre-engineered and designed pattern on the house, which goes on a true rain screen system, which protrudes from the face of the plywood about 2.5 inches total, which allows the water to run behind it if it does get there.
So you kind of have like a double rain screen going on here.
Pretty much we have a double rain screen
You
going
have that,
on.
and then you have the track for that also.
Absolutely, yeah. So, water is enemy number one. I learned it the hard way back in the day. When you have a leak, it is the worst experience in the world.
Yeah.
And especially nowadays with all the spray foam insulation that we do, the water will follow the path of least resistance.
Right.
So it's impossible to really find that once everything is done, which is why we do extensive water testing with hoses. And this is something that we try to explain to our clients. Yeah, you got to spend some money and time, with labor, get some long hoses and make sure you have a live water source to really take your time and go and check the house. We'll even check the drains. So if you pan up, you can see these PVC pipes. We'll even stick our hoses on those balcony drains, in the drains, to make sure that the joints aren't leaking. Another cool thing you'll see up here is even though we got the manufacturer's approval to cut through our triple LVL there, we still took it a step further and put 1/4-inch steel plates on both sides, bolted to ensure that even though this is just extra protection, even though this is just a very short span, don't want to take any risks, because if these things start sagging, guess what happens? Even your other types of waterproof membranes will split.
Right.
So you gotta even think about deflection, movement. I mean, we're already noticing the plywood from direct sunlight is shrinking a little bit, and you can see some cracks in the plywood, which will come back. I'll go over. So sometimes you do need to take your time, you know, when you're getting to the right before the installation stage.
Let me ask you a question though. Let's say you have a homeowner who doesn't exactly understand the value of this type of waterproofing or the importance of it and that kind of thing, and they're on a budget, because bottom line, this is great, it just costs money, you know, it's expensive. So how do you get past that? You know, if you have a homeowner who's a little bit resistant.
Excellent question. You know, I always say to our clients prior to them hiring us, we're almost interviewing them as well. And we'll explain to them what's behind the walls is just as important as what you see when you walk into your finished house. And we have to do the core and shell properly from day one, or all of this money you're putting into the finished product is a waste. It's not worth it. Let's you know, cut back from maybe, you know, a $20 a square foot tile to a $10 a square foot tile somewhere else, so we can do some of these belts and suspenders over here, so we don't have any issues.
So you really have to educate your client on what's needed. It's important.
Completely. We're not only builders, you know, we're teachers, we're marriage counselors between the husbands and wives, but these are all things that you have to get out of the way very early on in the stage, you know, the process. So we'll walk you through the rest of the house, and right over here, I mean, just a simple technique. We left out our front door. Why? Because this is our main entry point in and out of the house. People are still bringing in big boxes, lumber. We're gonna deliver sheetrock through here. You'll notice on the front of the house, we left another huge unit out over the garage, so we can telescopic send some sheetrock through there.
Is there a certain point on the job where you would say, okay, now I could install this, it's, you know, or just literally like the last thing, save it till the end, and
We try to, you
get
know,
the main stuff in,
main
the
stuff
tiles
in. Exactly. There's certain things. This house is a little bit different because we're slab on grade. So we're going to be pouring self-leveling over here, which really does mean that this should be in and waterproofed, you know, perfectly, and then come up to it just like we will on this side with these doors.
So at a certain point, you just have to get it in and then protect it.
Correct. You know, what we may do is spray foam, insulate everything, deliver the sheetrock, then install the door, then start, you know, doing that. But another major key is protection, protection, protection. You're talking about hundreds of thousands of dollars of glass and, you know, doors, windows, and the last thing you need on these custom finishes is a scratch. And it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. You know, we open the doors, we even try to cover the thresholds. You'll see, you know, throughout the job site, we try to keep it clean. I think it sets a good example for all the trades that come here. And it's also good for you as a builder when you want to walk a potential client through, hey, this place is organized.
Shows that you care.
Shows that you care. Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, John, what is going on with these orange fence boxes in the ceiling?
So that's a great question also. These are right here. You can take a look at them. We found this company, believe it or not, in the Ukraine. It's called Ergovent. And I've always been very particular about our linear vents because we've had a lot of issues in the past where after they're taped and spackled in, if it's not done correctly or you don't use the right product, because it's HVAC, hot, cold, expansion, contraction, moisture, you'll start seeing some rippling, bubbling, the tape.
Here.
Yeah, so this company has not only come up with a product that makes sure that never happens, you can actually connect these like puzzle pieces.
Wow.
So if you notice up there, we have 3 of them linked together.
Wow.
And all you're gonna see at the end of the day is this little slit right here.
Wow.
And it takes these 5-inch, you can put flexible duct. We have our ceiling joists with open web, run everything nice and easily, even though we're going to be dropping the ceiling 8 inches flush with this. But it also allows us to create our shade pockets behind it. So we're holding a certain dimension, I believe it's 9 inches from the back. And then we are going to create our shade pocket, put an LED light in there, automatic roller shades.
Very clean look in there.
It's a really clean look. You're not dealing with the ugly tin metal stuff, and the product is just super, super solid. I mean, our HVAC guys have never worked with it before, but they said this is the absolute best product we've ever seen. And believe it or not, the price point was even less than your standard metal sheet metal plenums and boxes. And they also make another really cool product, which could also be used as a supply, but we're not using them as a supply. We're actually using these as bathroom exhaust vents. So this is actually magnetic, has a damper inside if you want to control the airflow. There's clips that go on here, which you could spackle in the whole thing. The whole thing is made out of like ceramic, basically plaster. And we're gonna lime wash them, we're gonna be able to paint them.
Wow.
And all you'll see at the end of the day in the sheetrock ceiling is this little rib. You wanna clean it, pop it off, clean it, adjust it. And even these have adjustable dampers inside that you can stick keys in here, special keys, turn them, adjust the airflow.
Adjust the flow.
Which is, something we haven't seen. And we like it. So far, so good.
What's the best way to find this new things that are out there? New technology. It's always changing. There's always new stuff coming out. What's the best?
I'm on Instagram a lot. Lately, I've been on Pinterest a lot because I just love, finding new designs. And believe it or not, sometimes I'll even go on Alibaba to see what's going on in Asia because they're always coming out with new stuff. And
do you go to like builders shows and you find that helpful?
I do, and I've gone to a lot of the shows in Vegas, IBS, and you definitely find a lot of cool things. I've been hunting on YouTube, following bigger builders. I think it's like AI right now. It's all about the prompting, what you're searching for. And you can sit there and search for hours on linear events, which is how I found this.
Right.
And I think our radar between myself and my assistant, just talking to companies, you kind of get that feel of like who's real, who's not, who's going to deliver, who's not going to deliver, and try to find some reviews.
Cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
All right, so we're actually in one of the primary bathrooms showing Daniel some of the new Jesse shower bodies. And we were super impressed when we got this because of the sheer size of it. And you have a good shower body when it comes with its own level. I've never seen that before, right? So always make sure you have your stud guards. Everything is insulated. We're running, 1 inch up to these for extra power. This thing has a waterfall that will be over the bench. So when you're sitting on the bench, there's a waterfall. We put in our bench brackets, which we always cut them back a little bit. Yeah, because they're too long. Linear drain, and yeah, a lot of blocking we put in. This is for the other side. Always make sure to get your blocking in.
Right. So one thing I noticed with the wood right away though is that these are not regular 2x4, 2x6 studs here. This looks a little bit different. What's going on here?
So we actually do this entire house with engineered lumber. These are LSL studs. You can use LVL studs. It's just the only way to really guarantee true perfection when it comes to a modern home there's no room for forgiveness. There's no crown molding or casing to cover anything. We're working with super tight tolerances. I mean, you can even see, you know, where the lines are for the sheetrock and tile. You don't want to get into all of those extensions that we have to do. You know, sometimes with Kohler, if the tile starts packing out too much because the stud is not straight.
Right.
Naturally, you know, regular studs are never going to be 100% true. And the sheetrock guys, what do? They just slap on top. Some sheetrock guys will sit there and shim it out, but this is just, you know, peace of mind.
Engineered wood just really guarantees a straighter wall, cleaner finishes.
It makes life a lot easier when you're trying to get that laser perfect. And the same thing with the subfloor. You know, we're using Advantech X Factor over here. So the X Factor, it just during construction it could take a beating. Another thing you'll notice, like we draw a lot of stuff on the floors. So I'll walk through here. Yeah, we'll even, you know, mark out the line of the vanity. So
It's dummy proof.
it's dummy proof. We definitely hand all of our subcontractors all sorts of different methods of giving them the plans. This is just another layer of making it dummy proof. A lot of times we'll hang the drawings in the house. This house, believe it or not, I didn't do that because we're just so involved here and there's a little bit of moving parts. We didn't want anyone to just take it on their own decision, you know. We want to make sure we're landing, you know, the wall faucets at the perfect height, the wall carriers for the toilets at the perfect height, explaining to them the thickness of the floor that's being built up, because we're doing self-level here as well, not only downstairs. And there's a lot of finicky, you know, little things with that. Quarter inch, half inch makes a big difference.
Right.
So we're on the balcony. This is a primary bedroom over here. And we have a balcony that runs the entire rear of the house on the second floor and on the attic level. And you can see over here all the liquid waterproofing. We have drain holes, which will get, you know, custom drain covers. And this goes to show you additions. So if you see this box right here, from underneath, I'll explain to you what that was. Underneath this area on the first floor, we have a seating area outdoor. And we wanted to put in-ceiling heaters. But we wanted those heaters to land directly in the center of the seating area, which on this side was too far towards the house. Out here, we didn't want them floating and exposed. We wanted them really flush, hidden into the porcelain veneer that we're putting on this house. And when we go downstairs, I'll show you, we built a trough, and now we're gonna have 3 heaters inserted into this trough that we created. So now the guys are just gonna come back, wrap this around, waterproof it. Yeah. Believe it or not, it gives us a little bit extra space up here with our glass railing system, which I'll show you downstairs as well, how we're doing that. And, you know, again, all of our balcony frames, all concealed into the soffits.
So you don't have any gutters showing on the outside of the house?
Only on the 2 sides, we have 2 big scuppers coming down with leader pipes, but in the back and the front, you see nothing. Yeah, we wanted to try to keep it as clean as possible, but that takes a lot of thought process before the house even gets. So you really gotta look into the direction of your floor joists. People don't think about this stuff. You know, they just sometimes trust their architects, and look, there's a lot of great architects out there, but sometimes it's the engineer. He's not thinking about which way the leader is going, which way the pipes are going.
You don't always have a mechanical plan.
You don't have a mechanical plan.
Electrical plan.
Yeah. And then, you know, I'm trying to convince all my architects to go to Revit now because you can see like 3D modeling of, you know, where the pipes go. Believe it or not, Builders First Source is offering those services.
3D stuff.
3D, exactly. You can see all of your interference for duct work, pipe work. I think we got to all take advantage of these things.
I feel like one thing I've found is that the more time you put into the pre-construction, the faster the construction goes.
Absolutely. The plans are everything. It's your Bible. Yeah. All right.
Okay, so what's going on with the lighting here? I see some brackets in the ceiling.
So all of our lights are going to be mud-in, spackle-in. This system of light, we use these brackets, pull the wires through. You see the cutouts of where the actual light inserts.
That's square in the middle.
That's square in the middle. And this keeps everybody straight, level. Sheetrock guy just trims right inside there, no issues.
So technically you don't need the bracket, it's just you're doing it to make sure you're really leveled out and exact.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, have we done it without it? Absolutely. You just pull the wires through, more or less. Sometimes people even use cardboard and rip it out. This is just a cleaner way of doing it. We want to make sure everything is straight. And all of the niches will have LED lights inside of them. All of the tops of the showers, we're going to create a channel detail with a riglet. These are actually Kohler shower bodies. We did something a little bit different here. We actually offset it. We thought it would be cool to, this is your center.
Right.
But put the control on the side. Why not? When you open the door,
Closer to you.
It's closer to you. It's a more modern look. We usually, some of the bathrooms you'll see we'll do floating benches. This one we opted to do a solid one because just the design of the stone on this wall is going to be a special texture. We want to just carry it through. Again, we'll have linear drains that are tiled in. All you see is the slit going around it, which I'm sure you've seen before. We got our 6-foot vanity here. This one we opted to do a floor mount toilet. And again, mark it out on the floor, draw the sink center, just gives them, less of a guessing game to deal with.
And I see you really built out this wall more, and you're going to have a lot of plumbing on both sides here. So
Correct.
give yourself space to work.
Yep, we did 2x6 LSLs back to back because we also have medicine cabinets here, which are all getting wired in. These will be Roburn medicine cabinets. We even did that new Roburn niche that goes right over here. It's got its own outlet, USB-C chargers if you want to charge an electric toothbrush, or this is a girl's bathroom. She'll probably just put like her makeup. Here are some perfume bottles, just a nice little accent, and direct light right over the sink, even though the mirrors are lit up. The lighting is super, super important, and I'll show you, maybe I'll clip in some of the lighting plans into this video. Traditionally in our spec homes, you'll walk into a bedroom, you'll do your 6, 8, 10 hi-hats straight. On this plan, we offset a lot of lighting. So we never want to be sitting at a dining table or kitchen table or seating area with the hi-hat right on top of your head. Because what that ends up doing, it casts shadows on people's faces. So how do we light up a room without having direct light, just make it indirect light. So maybe floor lights, the LED strip lights that we were talking about, little accents here and there, and the room just naturally will start glowing if you get that right. Another cool feature that we should talk about is the waterproofing on the inside of the windows also. Not only do we have the air seal foam,
Going down the side.
we're caulking it here. We got our red guard and pre-pitched windowsills. So
how does that work?
Look, I don't think anything's getting in because we're doing our water test, but if water were ever to get inside, it's already pre-pitched.
Pitched that
pitched
way, so
out.
anyways, it's going on.
Yeah, and listen, it doesn't take a lot to ask your framer, hey, cut these, studs over here a little bit of an angle.
Small things good to get a
Else and
very
suspenders.
good benefit out of.
Yeah, definitely. On the bigger doors, you'll see we have copper pans, the ones that are really low to the ground. And whatever we can do to really try to minimize any sort of, potential headache in the future. And it's gonna happen. It's construction. I think that, you gotta explain that to your client from day one. No matter how good of a builder you are, there's 500 different personalities working on these job sites. Could be one guy forgets to put, one nail guard, or it could be a sheetrock guy, who just throws a screw into a pipe and doesn't say anything. He doesn't even realize he did it, So sometimes on a Friday afternoon, they're rushing to get out of there. Just, they forget to tell you on Monday, hey, this is happening, or their boss sends them to a job and it just goes, forgotten about. You never know. But what we like to do is we use a company that comes in 3D images, everything prior to on the interior walls prior to insulating. At any given time, if you want to go back, they have a software. You just click in. For example, you can say, I want to go to this bathroom number 4. Pulls up the images, and you can literally take your mouse and rotate. You can see where every wire is, every pipe is. So if you do have an issue, it's a lot easier to pinpoint where you may need to potentially open up the wall or where the problem may exist.
Smart.
Yeah.
Okay, so I see this weird sandwich situation going on here with the
Yeah.
LVL, the stud LVL. So what's going on this wall here?
All right, so the whole entire wall was done with 2x6 LSL studs, like everything else in the house. We're actually working with view rail on the staircase that starts from the first floor and actually goes all the way up to the attic. And it's a cantilever system that comes out from the wall. So view rail has designed this custom plate, and they needed extra support to make sure that we don't get any sort of bounce, any sort of shaking in the wall. So they had us sandwich our LSLs, screw them and glue them. They went a little bit crazy, but I love the guys at View Rail because they really take pride in it.
Never heard of this brand. What's the story?
Yeah, so we actually found this company in Connecticut, and these windows all come from Poland. And what I liked about them after I went to their showroom and visited one of their job sites is not only do they supply it, they also install it, which, to me is everything because it's like end-to-end responsibility. This is actually the unit that we left out because we want to boom our sheetrock through here.
Right.
So you can actually see, the waterproofing prior to it going in. And then we got a pan that will go there. All gets tied in.
Sealed, waterproof.
Sealed, waterproof. And you'll notice up here, this is a flat roof above us. And anywhere we have interior drains, we're using cast iron. And we do that for the sound. Even though we're going to be putting rock wool safe and sound insulation in all the ceilings, partitions of bathrooms and walls and bedrooms, I think it's really important to try to kill the sound as best as possible.
Minimize it.
Yeah, yeah. And what's really cool about this unit is these are 4-panel sliders. So the sliding doors open like this, and they've custom integrated a glass railing right into their frame, which is that piece of glass leaning up against the wall.
Wow.
So you can actually leave these doors open with no physical balcony and not fall out, which we thought was really cool.
Very cool.
And they've never done it before, but they liked the idea and they made it work. And you can see the glass does not come installed. And this is a double laminated glass. Sometimes we do triple, even though we're on the water. What we opted to do is just laminate the glass for hurricane resistance. And what people don't realize is a lot of different options for glass, like clarity, color. And that was a process, it's like a 3-hour meeting just to pick which glass we were gonna go with.
Right. So when it comes to the windows,
Yeah.
people always ask me, what's a good window? What makes a good window? In your opinion, what do you focus more on? The look? Is it more the energy efficiency, things like U factor, stuff like that? Or
I
what's
think
a good window?
every job is different. If we're building a house for sale, it depends on the price point. Budget is everything. We have clients that don't care. They just want a good window that's not gonna leak. They don't really care about UV. In this particular house, we wanted to make sure that we have really, high UV rating because we don't want our furniture to fade. You have 11-foot glass floor to ceiling.
It's a lot of sunlight.
It's a lot of sunlight, very expensive furniture, it can fade. So I want to be able to protected as best as possible. We are huge on Pella windows, you know, for 25, 26 years. It's what job, where it is, how close to the water, what's the budget, what's the size of the windows, is it super custom? Because Pella, Marvin, they have size limitations.
Right.
Whereas the Europeans, you know, look at the Apple stores, you know, they'll go, you know, 25-foot pieces of glass.
Yeah.
So you're not going to get that with Pella and Marvin.
It's really a job by job basis. Yeah.
It's a job by job basis, budget basis, but it's, you know, it's something that you have to really work into the overall budget. To some clients, it may be a very high priority, even on a smaller budget house. So we have to, as builders, explain to them with their architects, well, we're going to have to cut somewhere to make this happen. So you'll notice over here, we take all of our scrap. It's good to not throw some things away sometimes. And put blocking in the walls. This is where the base cabinets are going. This is where the upper cabinets are going. Just gives you a nice place to attach to. So you're not always looking for a stud, and you got to think about these things, you know, especially. Yeah. So when you're doing your shower doors, and the guy comes to screw his shower door right to your wall, there should be something back there. And he's not just screwing it into tile or slab. There's something behind, there's some meat behind there.
Even like the accessories in the bathroom.
100%.
Toilet paper holder, a towel bar.
It's hard there, no, it's really hard to get all of those things right. And, you know, that's why sometimes we have to slow down.
Yeah.
You know, clients are like, rush. You can't always rush. You have to really, you know, take your time, walk through the house. I like to walk through the house when nobody's here. No noise, no distractions. Come early in the morning when my phone's not ringing, or late in the afternoon when my phone's not going crazy. And then I'll take pictures. I'm very big on pictures, group text messages with the subcontractors, very important. Document everything. Even with your clients, document everything. If you have a meeting with them, take notes. Use AI, use Applaud, record it. Record your, you know, Zoom calls on AI now.
Yeah.
Gives you a whole transcript. 6 months from now, when the client says, I didn't want that, well, yes, he did. You may even be, you know, making a mistake, or you may forget something. You can go back to it. So it's always good to follow up with an email, text message. Hey, this is what we discussed today. Send them videos and pictures. I like to, you know, send pictures to my framer, for example, and I'll say, hey, by the way, you know, I want to add this wall, put it to here, put blocking over here, follow up with drawings as well. If they forget to do it, hey, I sent you a plan, sent you a video, sent you a text message, sent you smoke signals. Why didn't you do it?
So in terms of the communication aspect, let's say with the homeowner himself, does every job have like a WhatsApp group or email? Like, what's the best communication form for you?
I think it's multiple layers of communication. Yes, we have text message groups. We call them the homeowners chat. We have our subcontractors, plumber, electrician, roofers. We have our own internal project manager, you know, JB main chat, we call it. And just keep following up, and run your punch list. Really organize your punch list. I think having a punch list is the most important thing. Excel spreadsheet, by trade. If you really want to get crazy towards the end of the job, by room. This way you can say, hey, you know, this bedroom is missing this, that, trades. Then you can literally copy and paste everything that has to do with XYZ plumbing, email him the list, and say, hey, can you please make sure you get all of these items for this address done? Follow up in 4 or 5 days. Hey, which one of these items have you completed so I can cross it off? You come, double check.
So nothing falls through the cracks, and get it done once and you're done.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right, John, thanks a lot for the tour. Appreciate
Absolutely.
it. Thanks a lot. I appreciate the mentorship. I think it's always
Anytime.
good for me to see someone else's job site, You can always learn something new, so I really appreciate the time.
We'll learn something new on your job site too, I'm sure. So we'd
Anytime.
love to come to your job sites
Anytime.
like we have in the past, walk through, saw some really cool details in your last house. I mean, that house was incredible. These guys actually broke the record on one of their houses that they built and sold in our area, which was incredible. So that says a lot, you know? Says a lot about what you're doing.
Try our best.
Yeah, at your age, we were doing $1 million homes, you know. Now we're doing these crazy houses, but already at your age, you're doing $10 million homes. So, you know, it's a good sign.
It's a process.
It's a process.
Long process.
All right, sir.
Thanks again.
We'll see you soon.
Appreciate it.